Hey guys, Rob Provencher here. I'm in the back roads of Tamarindo, Costa Rica. I'm here on a 3-week holiday with my wife and my daughter, and still doing all the work I need to do to market my studio and optimize my website, and we're sending out emails and orders to the lab and constantly practicing my photography skills. Here's my camera right here, little point and shoot. Good day. Yeah, that'll bring you back into town. Just stay right on it. You can't get lost.
I came in at night. I didn't realize it was so broken up.
Yeah, this is kind of the side road, you know, it's the back road. Sorry about that. There's hardly anybody on this road. We have a condo just on the outskirts of town, and this is sort of a road that circles around town. I often go jogging along this road. It's kind of nice. And if you look over here, that is a brand new development. It looks like a new eco-adventure center. That wasn't there last year. This town is just booming. Anyways, what I want to talk about are 7 unusual productivity tips. This was a blog post sent to me by Robin Spencer, and I looked at it. He was like, you know, hey Rob, you like to talk about stuff like this all the time? And I read it and I thought, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Not to diss, I'm not trying to show any disrespect towards Robin for sending it to me, but you know, it read like somebody, like a 25-year-old millennial who went to university or college wrote it. Okay? Don't take that the wrong way. Don't hate me for it. So, but anyways, I read it and I went, this is nothing new. These steps, these productivity steps are nothing new. So I rewrote them quickly and I sent my answers to Robin. I said, thanks Robin for sending this. I really appreciate it. It's a good review of some of the basics to do at productivity, and I'm going to share those with you right now. So the number 1 step, she's saying, need a creative boost, go for a walk. Yeah, well, that's pretty basic. If you've not read Steve Jobs' book, amazing read. That was probably one of my favorite business books of all time. Stephen Jobs was famous for going for walks, and for the right reason. I mean, it really invigorates and gets the creativity going. I also like going for rides because it seems to use a different part of the brain when you're moving. When you're out moving, you're sort of taking in your environment, and it triggers different aspects of your consciousness. There's all kinds of critters around here. You hear that? You'll see snakes, birds. There are more birds in Costa Rica than anywhere else in the world. Monkeys too. Jaguars. So yeah, go for a walk. I run a lot too, 3-4 times a week, more if I can, even in the middle of the winter time. I do this Wim Hof stuff. If you're not sure who Wim Hof is, go to YouTube, search Wim Hof Vice documentary, and you'll see what it's all about. So I'll go in my shorts and a t-shirt in the middle of winter, -20. I'll do a 1, 2, 3 kilometer jog, depending on how windy it is. In the summer, spring, and fall, I'll go running 3, 4, 5 times a week, minimum 3 kilometers. I call it my Zoloft hit. Number 2, make happiness a work priority. You know, I kind of like went, This one is the most vague and the one that sounds the most like it's rhetoric. Maybe it means take care of yourself first. It may also go hand in hand with the age-old concept behind a book that was written in 1937. I read this book in my 20s. It was a really, really good book, and it's called The Art of Selfishness. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? The Art of Selfishness. It's a great read, but it's all about taking care of yourself first in order to take care of everything else and everybody else around you. So it's a good read. So I think that's what she's saying here. Make happiness a work priority. Number 3, small wins have a big impact. This is good. This is really all about baby steps. This is all about, if you want to be successful, or if you want to be wealthy, if you want to be successful, start with a small success and you build on it. We tend to disregard this. We tend to look at it like, no, we have to have a home run every single time. And that is the wrong way to look at it. If you want to get ahead in life, if you want to grow your bank account, if you want to improve your skill set, You start small, little baby steps. And this applies to with goals too, and we'll get to that in a minute. That's a solid idea. Number 4, stop focusing on your goals. So, you know, didn't I just say? What she's saying is don't look at the goals because they can be overwhelming. You want to break your goals down, and like I just said, break them into small steps. If you want to get wealthy, start with $1. If you want to get successful, start with a small success and build it up from there. This also means do everything you can with whatever resources you have available. The worst thing to do, in my opinion, is to whine, complain, and blame. That is the absolute most disempowering behavior you could do. The most successful behavior loaded strategy you could do is to take any resource you have available. I don't care if you're flat broke and you're living on the streets. There's something available to you that you could start with. You got to start there and build from there. Hey guys, Rob here. I'm back. The reason I'm saying that is because I was watching the video that I recorded on 7 steps to productivity, and I actually thought it was recording, but the camera stopped recording. I think I only made it up to number 4, so I thought, whatever, I'll get it done later. So now it's later, and I got a new haircut. Anyways, 5 steps to productivity, and step number 5 was put it in a calendar. And this one applies very much similarly to the, gotta watch, I'm gonna get run over here, to the previous step, which I think has got to do with baby steps. I think, yeah, baby steps. Anyways, it's very simple. See, I like this productivity step, put it in the calendar, because that's an actual action step. It's a productivity step. It's a baby step. It's something you could physically do, and it's easy to do, and it involves time because it's your calendar, and it involves commitment. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do it, but it's a good step in the right direction. Let's assume you're passionate about your goals, you have a lot of desire, and you want to make them a reality. Put it in the calendar. It's a very easy productivity step. I live and die by my calendar, always have. I use Google Calendar now. I used to use a system. Was it called McBee, or was that the accounting system? I can't remember. Whatever it was, a pretty cool system for managing your time. Just a big believer in time management. So if you want to get your hands on a really good book on time management, Dan Kennedy, go to Amazon and search Dan Kennedy, the ultimate guide or whatever to time management. It's pretty epic. It's also a baby step in the right direction. So I already mentioned that when I said it was an action step. It's the same idea. Sorry guys, I just got to make sure I don't get run over. And I got to make sure we're recording. This is what happened. You see, last time when I was recording this, I was talking away and it stopped recording, and it's just on the bottom of the screen. I got to keep an eye on it. All right, number 6. Express deadlines in days, not weeks. This again is a very simple, straightforward step. It's something you can do now. So when you're looking at your goals, you know, I'm a big believer in having a 5-year or 3-year big picture goal. This to me is really, really important. And if you're a member of the No BS forum, you know I've got those goal forms. And if you haven't filled them out, or if you haven't, it's been a while, I urge you to get your hands on them and go fill them out, because in there, one of the first and most important steps that anybody could do, and this is something I really believe in, and that is your 5-year big picture, and also a list of all the issues that are in your life right now. And that way you get to look at all the roadblocks. And from those roadblocks, you get to create some direction as to what it is you need to do. As uncomfortable as that is, it's very important that you tackle them, because they're roadblocks. So you need to tackle them. So this is one of the bonuses of doing those steps, but it also applies to this productivity step where it's expressing your goals in days, not weeks. What she means by that is you got a sense of urgency. Now, if you have some big roadblocks and you have them as a result of having this big picture vision, this big idea what it is you want to do, and you know what's holding you back, you got to get on it right away. So that applies to expressing it in days, not weeks. So if you express it in weeks, that means, I'll get to it later, right? Next week. Now. What can you do now, right now? This is really important. What is it you can do right now with the resources that you have at your avail? All right, so number 7, and the last one, it's called, the title is Forgive Yourself. This sounds really nice and soft and mushy and gushy and all that good stuff. I want to reframe it. When she says forgive yourself, it's a very, very solid point. And if you ever been to a 12-step meeting, I've been to many myself. One of the most important steps involves self-forgiveness. It's very, very critical, because if you have a lot of guilt, if you're living in the past, this is going to hold you back for the rest of your days. You don't want to be dragging shit from the past. So you got to learn to forgive yourself. If you're in a 12-step group, or if you're working with a therapist, if you're working with a counselor, that's equally as good, because there's systems there that are designed for you to just sort of pull out that shit and get beyond it and move on. This is what's important. You have to move on. You've got to move on. If it's holding you back, you'll never move on. It's always going to be there. That's why this is so important, that you learn to forgive yourself. So, so important. And Dan Kennedy said it best. He said the number one key to success is immunity to criticism. That, in the way he's expressing it, is an immunity to criticism from others. I look at it as well as it's an immunity to criticism from yourself as well, because we can be our own worst critics. But, you know, the guilt and the anxiety is just so debilitating. It just drags you down so hard, and you want to be able to work through that, and the only way to work through it is to face it square on. There's no workaround. There's absolutely no workaround. You have to square up and look at it eyeball to eyeball. Look at your past, not stay there. You got to look at it, deal with it, recognize it for what it is, and then move onwards from there. It can be a very painful experience, different for each and every one of us. So, but anyways, it'll create a lot of guilt, a lot of anxiety if you don't move on beyond it. So anyways, that's my 7 steps, and apologize for the little glitch in the matrix here, but you know, it's the way war rolls. I'm on, I'm off, I'm out of here. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.